sincerely and with focused intention. Krishna says, vyavasayatmika buddhi, that one whose aim is one very easily attains to devotional service. But those whose intention is many-branched, they can't accomplish anything. He says they're less intelligent. Less intelligent. Because they're trying to understand the nature of consciousness. Consciousness, when it's unified, one-pointed, and focused on a transcendental object, whether it's one's own self, or the Paramatma in the heart, or Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead, is naturally blissful, is naturally a source of pleasure. People talk about being in the groove, or being in the flow, and how great that is. Well, why is it great? Because their consciousness is focused on one thing. And it automatically gives pleasure. Even if it's just bowling or something nonsense like that, if your consciousness is unbroken, undivided, and focused on one thing, it automatically gives pleasure. Why is that? Well, that's just one of the qualities of consciousness. When consciousness is whole, unified, unbroken, it's automatically a source of pleasure. We don't need to do anything. You can just sit there. And if your consciousness is focused and whole, it's beautiful. So this is the whole message of the Buddha and people like this, you know. But beyond that, there's a level where consciousness is focused on a transcendental person, personality of Godhead, who has unlimited transcendental qualities. So we can never run out of things to meditate about Krishna. So these unlimited pastimes, qualities, names, activities of Krishna, these are the food of our transcendental body. And when we meditate on Krishna like this, because our consciousness is focused on a transcendental object, we naturally feel pleasure. Patanjali describes all this in the Yoga Sutras. He talks about Chit Shakti. Chit means transcendental knowledge. Well, what is transcendental knowledge? Well, you have to read the Upanishads to really know. You have to read Vedanta to really know. Or Bhagavad Gita. Bhagavad Gita explains transcendental knowledge in the 4th chapter. And he begins by saying you have to approach a spiritual master. Render service to him and inquire from him. Because one who has seen the truth, he can explain everything to you. He can show to you. Because he's seen. He knows. He's experienced. So just like if you want to become a doctor, you have to go and do internship under the direction of people who are already doctors. You can't do it just by class or book learning. You have to go and get the experience, hands-on. So it's the same thing in spiritual life. You can read the books as much as you like, but unless you actually have some association with a self-realized soul, it's very difficult, almost impossible, to put into practice by yourself independently. Therefore, guru is necessary. So the first item of transcendental knowledge is a guru. Then what? Well, you have to study the Vedas under his direction. And anytime you're confused, or anytime you're not getting results, you have to inquire why. And when the guru gives you instruction, you follow it, you do it. So there's so many instructions there in Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. If we follow these instructions, Krishna is the original guru. So if we follow Krishna's instructions, if we accept his esoteric teaching, then we're going to get the result. We're going to experience self-realization for ourselves. If we're not experiencing this self-realization, if we're not feeling this spiritual pleasure, if we're not feeling His personal reciprocation from within our hearts, something is wrong. And we have to inquire, what's wrong? What am I doing wrong? It's our responsibility to do this inquiry, to find someone who can advise us, to become their disciple, and to get their attention by serving them nicely. Then, if the spiritual master is pleased, he gives the benediction by which everything is attained. And this, in the beginning, this is transcendental knowledge, but there's more to it than that. There's more to it than that. Yavsa prasadad bhagavat prasado. By the mercy of the spiritual master, one attains the mercy of Krishna. That's the system. That's the way it works. We didn't put that, we didn't make this up. That's the way it is in the scriptures, and that's the way it is in the parampara. All the gurus, all the great souls say the same thing. And I'm not just saying that because I'm a teacher. I'm saying it because it's true, and it's my experience as well. That when you try really sincerely to serve the spiritual master, even in his absence, he doesn't have to be physically present. This is a spiritual thing, remember? So it's not about physical presence, it's about serving the instructions of the spiritual master. And when we do this, Krishna provides the result. That this is what we want to do. We want to provoke Krishna to give us the result of our self-realization. How do we do that? You have to follow Krishna's program. And he gives that program in Bhagavad Gita and other scriptures very clearly. More questions?
About raising the consciousness. If I'm in the mode of ignorance right now, do I elevate my consciousness level by level to passion and then to goodness and then transcendental, or by mercy of God a straight jump is possible?
Who's asking?
Swati Agarwal.
Step by step. That was the whole point of this previous discussion, is that you can't just chant some mantra for a little while and expect to get the whole result. You get a partial result. You have to execute the whole process step by step. And you'll find that as your understanding increases and matures, you'll want to go back and start all over again. Possibly many times. Because you find that as you develop a deeper and deeper understanding of these truths, that your whole point of view will gradually shift. So, like in the beginning, one thinks, oh, I'm stuck in the material world, I'm in the mode of ignorance, I have all these bad habits, you know, I can feel myself getting older every day, I have to do something about it. And the primary object is me, my benefit. I want to improve my life. So you improve your life, you get some transcendental knowledge, you do little sadhana like that, and then things get better. And then you find out, wait a minute, oh, I have to have a guru. I need a guru because I can only get so far on my own power. To serve someone else is always higher than to serve oneself. To give is better than to receive. That's the old proverb. But who do we give to? Who's the best person to give? Who's the best person to serve? Is someone who is fully self-realized. Someone who already has the ultimate thing, the ultimate benediction that anyone can hope to achieve. So when we serve the self-realized soul, Krishna sees that and he says, oh, they're following my instruction. I'll give them more advancement. See? And it's like that. It's a step-by-step process. Then when you get that much more advancement, you start to see, oh, I've been chanting the holy name offensively all this time. what if I try to chant the name without offenses? And so then you start working on your offenses and start cleaning up your act on a more of a psychological level. Huh? Maybe at this point, you know, you've been following the external regulative principles for some time. But then there's all this internal stuff too. See? And then once we clean up those things, we start to see that, oh, actually, I misunderstood all of the scriptures that I was reading because I was thinking I'm the beneficiary of my activities. Now I see that actually the Lord is the beneficiary of my activities, and so I have to reread everything, restudy everything from that point of view, and understand that the actual nature of all Vedic processes is sacrifice. So then we get through that stage, and then we realize there's another stage, and another stage, and another stage. And after